What is going on, guys? It is Adam A.K. Marf, and this show is going to be packed, so stick around. This is live. We are going to go over all of the current events and everything that has happened in the last 24 hours, so stick around. We'll be right back right after this. Nothing in this show should be considered legal, medical, or financial advice. The views of the callers can differ considerably and do not necessarily reflect my opinion, Dex's opinion, or anyone else who works with the show. You should always do your own research and consult with professionals. The internet is full of fake news, so please take everything with a grain of salt. If you have not already, it helps us out if you end up going through any of our affiliates, and it helps you out if you end up protecting yourself against cybercrime. NordVPN is one of the best and one of the easiest to use. If you do not have a virtual private network, it protects your IP address, which is your online identity, which actually connects to your real address and everything else. It also connects to you. If you know anything about how they are data logging and basically getting your profiles down, you can prevent that by having a VPN. Nord is, again, one of the easiest. Download it. It's like an on switch and off switch. All you have to do. Go to marfooglenews.com/VPN. Not only will you get a giant discount on this, but you will also be helping us. I appreciate your support, and I appreciate everyone that goes through any of our affiliates. Can't say thank you enough. What is going on, guys? It is Adam A.K. Marf, and this is Marfoogle News. Today, we have a great show for you planned, and again, we have a ton to go over. But just to remind you, again, over on our website, you can not only sign up for our email alerts, but you can also sign up for our notifications directly to you. Then you don't have to rely on all of the different platforms to get those to you 3 days late. Thanks. And then, of course, over there is a full bibliography. Somebody made a comment about something about, would you consider yourself fake news? Absolutely not. In fact, we make a full bibliography and we back up every single thing we say here, and we leave you all of the sources that we are using for this. Now, as far as you can call me a lot of things, again, if you are calling me anything, then maybe you should think about even watching the show. But secondary, as far as what we are talking about, we try to back ourselves up in fact. Now, when we suspect something is weird, that's when we talk about it. And that's the whole purpose. We talk about this mainstream, and of course, we go over it and say, okay, shouldn't we be asking questions here? Should we just be believing what we are hearing? Now, when you go to the website, you will see closed indefinitely, very easy, organized website, all done by thumbnail, closed indefinitely. Click that, Yellowstone Down. Once you click on that, you'll find all of our articles, tweet, video, pictures, documents that we share here, we give you access to. On top of that, there are many things that you should be checking every day for, including contest giveaways. Off Grid is doing a contest giveaway for a Faraday backpack. That's right. It will actually protect your stuff from CMEs, EMPs, and different electromagnetic pulse stuff, and double as an awesome, amazing space backpack. So again, make sure to go over there and check out the website. There's also overflow and web-only content, the stuff that is too far off to one direction for us to cover, or basically too hot for TV. Make sure to go over and check that out. That is down at the very bottom, and of course, it will be usually above caller info and things like that. And then over on the right, if you do want to support us by going through one of the products or the affiliates that we have today, then you can go over to the right side. All of those boxes are direct links so you can find the product that you wanted to get. All right, let's bring in my co-host/internet brother, Dex James. What is going on and how are you doing today?
Well, hello, Adam, and hello, Foogle fam. I'm doing just fine.
So, again, just to go right into it, we've got President B chastises oil industry over fuel costs. I think that just, I don't even think I need to read the article here. It's that picture and that's perfect. It's perfect right there. Just, yes, pointing finger and get off my lawn. U.S. President JB on Wednesday chastised the oil industry over soaring fuel prices at the heart of a 40-year high inflation, warning of unspecified emergency measures. The letter sent to 7 major oil corporations was President B's most direct salvo yet in a campaign to blame the industry for stoking price increases. Average fuel prices are up now $5 a gallon for drivers in the United States, up $3 from a year ago. Just want to point out, we're talking about $3. So the average gas price was $2 in some places just a year ago. That is more than a double in price just to drive from one place to another. That is absolutely insane, and people are pissed off. We get a ton of messages from people saying, is there anything we can do about it? I think that most of this is done on purpose, that this is being somehow this is part of something bigger, and that's just my personal opinion. What's yours? Let me know in the comments down below. And then Dex, go ahead.
So this is a shift, right? Because it was Vlad's fault. Everything was Vlad's fault when it came to oil. So now we're pointing the finger at someone else, right?
Yeah, so I don't know if there's going to be a general shift in what media says as well, but I guess we'll see. Now, let's see here. Dex, now, do we have everything connected on the back end for everything else? Is that for what we have after the first 4?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure that we had it. Okay, we've been having a lot of issues with our phone. If you guys want to call in, 224400-MARF. Again, the number is 224400-MARF. We are only able to figure out if it works right when we start at this point. So I'm glad that we have the phone lines open. And I think Brian Knight asked earlier if you want to call in, you would do that now. And then I don't know if he is watching, but Wages, if you would like to call in tonight too, I'd love to hear about the solar events. I know that you couldn't last night or the day before, so that would be awesome to hear from you. And then we have the Fed hikes its benchmark interest rate by 0.75 of a point, the biggest increase since 1994. The Federal Reserve on Wednesday launched its biggest broadside yet against inflation, raising benchmark interest rates 0.75 of a percentage point in a move that equates to the most aggressive hike since 1994. We are talking about in decades. Ending weeks of speculation, the rate-setting Federal Open Market Committee took the level of its benchmark funds rate to a range of 1.5 to 1.75%, the highest since just before the CV began in March of 2020. I like how they say it started in March of 2020. It actually started in December of 19, but okay. And then, well, I get what they're saying with the rates and everything that was changed then. Additionally, members indicated a much stronger path rate increases ahead of arrest inflation moving at its fastest pace going back to December of 1981. 40 years ago, according to one commonly cited measure. According to the dot plot of individual members' expectations, the Fed's benchmark rate will end the year at 3.4%, an upward revision of 1.5 percentage points from the March estimate. The committee has seen the rate rising to 3.8 in 2023, a full percentage point ramp higher. Officials also significantly cut their outlook for 2022 economic growth, now anticipating just a 1.7 gain in GDP, down from 2.8% in March. Either way, most of us that are watching the financial systems are looking at a slow motion to a fast motion collapse, because it will go slow until it doesn't, and then all of a sudden everything falls apart. Now, again, if you are here and you're afraid of all this stuff, I would highly recommend that you may look at yourself and say, I'm skipping steps here, because you shouldn't be afraid of this. All of us are preppers here, and most of us are preppers here, and we're all looking at how this may affect our future. And this is definitely not only going to affect our futures, but our kids' futures. If you have children, then just know they are heading into the worst time of history. I mean, it doesn't. There's a lot of times in history that I guess you could say are worse, but I guess it depends on where you are. Right now, the entire planet is heading into a basically, driving off a cliff, Thelma and Louise style. But again, if you disagree, and let me know what you think. And then we have exercise pill could curb food cravings for couch potato, study reveals. It says that anti-hunger pill could be on the horizon. According to a new study, researchers from Stanford Medicine and Baylor University have identified a molecule that keeps people from getting hungry after working out. In experiments, the compound dramatically reduced food intake and obesity in mice. Study authors hope to turn it into a medication that can even replace the need to go to the gym. So, okay, so basically they're saying that it would be a pill that would just burn fat or that would just stop you from eating. Sounds like it should be illegal. But apparently they've got the science down, right? It says regular exercise has been proven to help weight loss, regulate appetite, and improve metabolic profile, especially for people who are overweight and obese, says lead author Professor Yang Zhu from the Baylor College of Medicine in a statement. According to SWNS, it says, quote, if we can understand the mechanism by which exercise triggers these benefits, then we are closer to helping many people improve their health. So basically you would take the pill and it would do everything that the exercise would do as far as changing your metabolism, things like that, all of the good and profitable things from that, and it would do it with the pill. So, just leave it up to, of course, leave it up to Americans especially to find out ways to avoid exercise at all costs. Yes, we all want to just get the easy way out. And then this is pretty crazy. It says Yellowstone may be closed indefinitely after a once-in-a-thousand-year floodings. So, first of all, the whole thing about saying once in 1,000 years is crazy enough. But the fact that, we are in this little tiny lifespan that all of us are in, and we have seen so many of these once in 1,000 year, once in 700,000 year, once in 500,000 year events. It's kind of crazy to me that, everybody thinks, all of these events that say that they happen on average every 500,000 years, it just won't happen because our life is so small and our brain and our thinking is so small that we think, this couldn't happen. It's going to happen in 200,000 years from now. Yet all of these different events happen, and it depends on where you are. But Yellowstone is incredibly dangerous for when it actually does blow. Think about this. We have actually made metropolises all over the United States, considering that when Yellowstone does eventually go, we are going to basically knock out the center of our country. When Yellowstone does do a full-on eruption, it's going to leave a hole in the middle of the country. It's going to kill millions, if not billions. Who knows when it's going to happen? Could happen when we're all sitting in mega cities and in towers right above it, right? But at the same time, this flooding is something that was extreme. It said that Yellowstone may be closed indefinitely while roads and homes are repaired. It says after once in 1,000-year flooding forced state of emergency and may have changed the course of 2 rivers. Change the actual course of rivers, which is, that's just absolutely nuts. You're talking about taking a river and the flooding was so bad that when it dried out, it's somewhere else. It moved a river. These are the kind of things that, just blow humans away. We're like, Mother Nature is absolutely just an incredible force. It says Yellowstone National Park could be closed indefinitely as devastating flooding continues to ravage the towns, roads, and bridges alongside the Yellowstone River. Park officials characterize the severe flooding tearing through the region as a once-in-a-thousand-year event that could alter the course of Yellowstone River and surrounding landscapes forever. Officials say that the river's volume is flowing at 20,000 cubic feet per second faster than the previous record measured in the 90s, again 30 years ago. 10,000 tourists were evacuated, including a dozen trapped campers who were rescued by helicopter, emptying the park completely of all visitors. Officials warned on Tuesday that the local drinking water has now become unsafe and to be on alert for displaced wildlife, such as bears, tigers, and lions. Oh my. It says all entrances to the park were closed on Tuesday, and though Park Services say some southern roads may open in a week, they predicted that the northern roads will be closed through the fall. So one thing, they do use indefinitely kind of extreme here because I think within at least by next year, hopefully they would have this fixed, or at least that's what people are hoping. But now it has actually changed the course of two rivers. Or again, they don't know if there's any way to get those back on track. Again, we'll see if that ends up happening. If you have a story surrounding this, if you were there, if you were one of the people that were evacuated, or you knew somebody that was, give us a call at 2244-006273. That number is going to be down right below me at 2244-00-MARF. That's again 2244-006273, and then press option 4 once you get to our phone tree. Then you'll get directly to Dex, and then Dex can get you to me. By the way, hey, Heart Walker, go big. I like how you spelled that, French style. Rad 135, Human Liberty, what's going on? Lisa K 23, we've got Grace Cludding, Sybin, really, what's going on? Off Grid Hillbilly Style, True Impaired Patriot. We've got Francis B, Randy Mann, Dr. Nobody, what's going on? Watchman 1100 and Northwest Nature Lady. What is happening? 2244-00-MARF. Give us a call right now. Again, make sure to press option 4 when you get to our phone tree. All right, and then, by the way, it looks like we were trying to get Wages on. I don't know if he's not coming on today, then we'll actually have him come on special tomorrow. There's been a lot of solar events in the last few days, in fact, so we'll talk about that here in a second. Let me go over here and make sure. And it looks like we have Brian Knight. Brian Knight. Okay, so we have Brian Knight calling from Nevada. All right, and then while you're getting Brian on, I just want to remind folks, if you haven't already, make sure to go over and check out Energy. This entire stage is actually powered now by Energy. All of my power bars, all my music equipment, my lights, and my router are backed up by an Energy solar generator. This is really awesome because 1, it is silent. 2, it does not take gas. 3, it does not make any gaseous fumes you can actually take this inside your house. It is absolutely silent, which means nobody's going to be hearing it for 3 blocks away and coming to get it once SHTF happens. But whether it is an SHTF scenario or just your power goes out for a matter of days or you're in a rolling blackout in California, having something like this is an amazing convenience and a huge backup for any prepper. As far as all you need is the actual unit and a solar panel. You can actually plug in up to 4 panels just to the base unit and 1 battery. Otherwise, you can actually mod it. The cool thing about it is extendable. You can add mods like the mod that allows you to plug in 3 times the amount of solar panels. So 12 solar panels charging just the 1 battery. It's amazing. It will charge it incredibly quick or give you power while you're running it. So make sure to go over to marfooglenews.com/energy. There is up to $170 off on different packages. You are supporting the channel, and you are getting a discount on something that is one of the most coveted solar generators out there. Again, I would highly recommend their foldable, portable solar panels. They are absolutely amazing, and they're really high quality. This thing is portable, yet it can also be a solution for a home. You can extend it up to 96 batteries. That's marfooglenews.com/energy with an I, and make sure to use the code Marfoogle to get any savings. All right, and then Dex, it looks like we have Brian Knight on the phone. Brian, are you live?
Hello. Hello, Marf. Hello,
Hey.
Foogle family. Bless everyone here tonight.
Hey, what's going on? And thanks for calling
Can
in,
you hear
man.
me?
Yes, we can.
Perfect. All right, perfect. So I got a little video for you guys. A little event happened in the clouds, and this happened on Easter of 2020, and it's Jesus in the clouds with a crown over his head. So if you play the little video I sent you guys, you'll hear the little narration, and I'll point it out and stuff, and it's quite a miraculous capture. In fact, it's, I think, some of the most important information we've had in like the last 2,000 years. So I think it's important that your audience gets to see this and understand that there's more going on here. So go ahead and play the video if you want.
Okay. So should I play sound or should I not play sound?
You can play the sound. There's no music. I just narrate the video, and it helps. I point out if you can make it a little bit full screen so people could see it.
All right, 1 second.
And then the trick to this picture is to tilt your head to the right. The image is tilted to the right. So if you tilt your head to the right, and you can see a lot clearer, and then go ahead and play the audio or the video if you want.
So I know there's a lot of activity going on the sun, but I really don't feel like reporting on that stuff right now. Actually, I want to go back and revisit an event that happened earlier this year, 2020, around Easter, when I captured what appears to be Jesus in the clouds here. So I need you to tilt your head to the right about 45 degrees, and here's an eye, his other eye, his nose, his mouth, his chin and beard, his hair flowing back like this, and you can make out a crown up here above his head. And that crown is hovering over his head. There seems to be almost a little halo around his head too. And once you see that image, then we can zoom in just a little bit tighter. There you go. Okay, and this event happened over a course of about an hour, and I got a lot of pictures of it. See, if we go up above here, you can see all these pictures up from way over here going across, or all of this event, and I'm going to show you more of what happened here. Okay, here I've taken about 7 or 8 of those pictures and put them together in a flip book, and you can see the different images, and that this event, is taking place here, because there's more that happens here. Okay, so starting here, we're going to go forward a little bit here through a lot of these images, all the way to right about here, where you can see that this face has changed now. Now we're seeing a more round, like lion type face with the nose right here. Here's an eye coming out here, an eye going that way. Here's its mouth slit, the chin going down here. So this round face right here with the crown still above it. Now I'm going to go through and show you the flip book where it changes from Jesus to this lion face. Okay, now we're here at this image right here. This is a flip book of about maybe 15 or 20 of those pictures, and it's the transition between Jesus's face and the lion face. Now this happened in the clouds, and it was so big and in your face you couldn't see it. It wasn't until I took these images and zoomed out and compressed them. You didn't zoom in. They're too big in your face. You have to zoom out to see these. And these images that you're looking at have all been compressed, each frame, and then put into a flip book. And you can clearly see Jesus' face here with his crown hovering over his head, turning into that weird little lion face or whatever right there. Okay? And this happened back around Easter of 2020. So.
Okay, I'm going to switch over the audio. By the way, Brian, you can't. Right. I can't have both of the audios going at the same time. So I just wanted to switch back to you for a second. It took me a second to actually see it, but I do see what you're talking about.
Yeah, it does.
Oh, once you see it,
it does take a minute to see it.
This dark line is kind of like the eyebrow, and then you have the nose, and it's like he's wearing the crown of thorns, right?
Well, no, there's like a crown with little balls, almost like a king's crown that's hovering over his head. It's black. It's like in black silhouette or whatever. There's a crown hovering over his head. And when this event happened, a warm wind kicked up and all the birds started singing. Every bird around in the area all started crowing and singing and chirping. And this was like an hour-long event. So this happened on Easter, too. So this is a very significant event. And like I said, it was hard to see. It's so big and in your face that it's hard to see. It's like having your hand over your face. You can't see it until you pull back. The further back you get from it, the clearer it gets. You're looking at like from the 10th dimension. You're looking from another dimension back, like from God's perspective or from his, from a bigger perspective. And I've got all kinds of this activity on my channel. Not only do I do solar reports and stuff on these objects we're catching, reacting with our sun, but I got this kind of activity happening in the clouds too. And there's more than this. I've got angels and demons and stuff showing up on my security cameras that I've posted on my channel. And there's all kinds of spiritual events happening right now.
Well, Brian,
and they're happening in the sky, and anybody could look up and take pictures like this and possibly capture this stuff.
Well, yes, and Brian, thank you for sharing this with us. I know you've been part of the Foogle fam for a very long time. In fact, have you been here for 4 years?
Yeah.
I think you've been here for 4 years.
Oh, yeah.
So I appreciate you calling in and checking in with us, and then we'll make sure to post this video in your channel over on the website under caller info on the website. Again, thank you for calling in and sharing this. There's plenty of people out there that have seen very similar things, especially in the clouds. One thing about the clouds is it's just so miraculous when you do see something, and usually nobody's around when you're able to get it, or you don't have your camera. I've seen so many things that are just so absolutely defined that it's like beyond chance. So, well, thank you for calling in, Brian. I appreciate you.
All right, awesome. Thank you, Marv, and thank you, Foogle family. It was you guys that pushed my channel over 1,000, so I can live stream now. So I'm very appreciative of all of you guys, and God bless everybody here tonight. Thank you.
All right, well, God bless you, Brian. Have a good night. Be safe. That was Brian Knight. He's actually at 3,500 now, which is awesome. Congratulations, Brian. It really is awesome to see you go from, I want to say you had 11 subscribers when we first had you call in, and now you are at over 3.3 thousand. So that is, again, cool of everybody in the Foogle fam. If you want to check him out, it's Brian Knight. And then, of course, he's in chat all the time. I, of course, have seen him over 4 years. So I know that he is a good guy, at least in the right, that he has been here for a long time, and he's reliable. All right, and then let's see here. Let's go back into the news, and if you have something similar, give us a call. You can also submit your videos. If you have a crazy video of something like this or even crazier, send it to marfooglenews.com/playmyvideo. We would love to get more videos, and if you know somebody that has a video and you can get them to go on there, we can show it here on the show. We have been piling up a few, and hopefully at some point we'll put together a show of just your videos. I think it will be really fun, and it will be really an awesome time. Before we go into President B to unveil plan for next demic, Georgie Papadopoulos, I don't know if that is the actual one, right? Or if that's a fake one, right? Survival game, what's going on? Thank you for subscribing, though, Georgie. And then, didn't scientists want to pump water into Yellowstone to try to cool down the lava? I thought you covered a story about that a while ago. Okay, good catch, Ilea. So I don't know if you guys know this, but with Yellowstone, they had NASA. And I shouldn't say they. NASA and FEMA, I believe, was involved with it too. But NASA scientists were looking at a way where they could pump cool water into Yellowstone and then use the heat of the lava and the water that it heats up and then pump it back out. And actually, part of this was to prevent it from actually blowing its top. They are actually working on ways to try to cool it down, which... That's a weird one there, and all of a sudden it is incredibly flooded and covered in water, right? But again, they had this plan to get water in, and then they even doubled down on it. People said, "Oh, that's crazy! You're messing with nature. You can't play God." And they doubled down and they said, "Well, here we'll do one better. We're going to take the hot water and the hot stuff that comes out, and then turn that into a power plant." So they were talking about actually turning the Yellowstone itself into an actual power plant, and they say that it would create more power than any other power plant in the world because of how much they would be getting out of it. They could just constantly and endlessly run this just super steamed powerful water through a hydro power plant. So yes, that is a really good catch, Ilea. I did not make that connection. But yes, I've followed Yellowstone for a very long time because it's obviously one of the end of the world scenarios. And one of the things that I have always been interested in is end of the world scenarios and the possibility of them and how possible or how not possible they are. Sharon Hart, thank you for subscribing. I equals God, thank you for subscribing. Welcome. Sauron, the Dark Lord of Middle Earth, has subscribed. Sauron, sorry to mispronounce. I don't want the I to like zap me or anything. Diesel64, thank you for subscribing. Stephen McMahon, God bless all in this house. Nice to see you again as well. And then, of course, we have Catherine Epler. Thank you for subscribing. Wolves55, Barry Fowler, Awakened Spirit, and the 4,000 other people in chat. Thank you guys for coming in. And then over on DLive, thank you, Kimbria. Thank you for your massive support. Thank you for showing up to almost every show. I really do appreciate it. And, of course, R. Tate, Release the Quacken, and Lisa K23. Thank you guys. Wednesday, great to be here. Jesse the Kid, thank you. I appreciate all support. Thank you so much. And then we have President B to unveil plan for next demic while seeking $88 billion in funds. It says the President B administration is preparing a new defense strategy against the demics and other biological threats that applies lessons from what we went through the last 3 years and puts the White House at the center of any future U.S. response. I just want you to really soak that last part in, really just grind that into your brain. It says, and puts the White House at the center of any future U.S. response. So place the White House right in the middle of whatever next comes our way. The things that we fear and that Gates cheers on. Research suggests that there's a 50-50 chance of another CV or one that is more deadly. A 50-50 chance. That's not a good ratio there. Especially, I guess they could make up their ratio, right? Especially if they're, doing it. Over the next 25 years, according to a senior administration official who spoke under the condition of anonymity as the strategy isn't yet public, and the administration's plan is the result of more than a year of work by the U.S. national security and public health experts to improve the nation's framework for preparedness, response, and recovery. As soon as this month, the administration is expected to release a national biodefense strategy that will outline its approach to facing biological threats to humans, animals, environments, and crops. According to people familiar with the matter, the plan, along with an $88.2 billion in funding for the president is seeking, would shift how the government handles the demic. And, of course, goals and deadlines, and attempt to avoid the confusion and agency infighting that plagued the U.S. during the last one. It says the bottom line is that we know what it takes to prevent and essentially take outbreaks off the table as a threat to society. Oh, really? So we know what will get rid of this, right? What is that? Does that mean that the second it happens, you just lock people down? I don't know. Dex, go ahead.
Didn't we have one person, and it wasn't the president, who was sort of in charge of all of this? So there really wasn't a whole lot of confusion. There was really one person that was sort of dictating policy and dictating everything, to cat, dog, cat, and to all the others. He's everyone's favorite doctor. So I'm kind of confused so we're saying that it wasn't centralized, but it seems like it really was.
It seems like it was completely centralized, and it all went up to the very top of the pyramid scheme, and it went to really kind of one agency, right? One agency that was the only one allowed to go into where it started. And if you ask about anything otherwise, you'd get tariffs. Australia. So this is bigger. These are bigger things that are going on, and meanwhile, I guess, what are people focused on? Tell me in the chat. What do you think the big distraction is right now with what is going on right this second? What is the big distraction that people, obviously there was the Johnny Depp trial that had, and by when I say takes over and distracts, it's everywhere. Like on shorts and on TikTok and all these different platforms, it was like every other thing was about the DEP trial, right? That was a huge distraction. It was very good for taking people's eyes off of what was happening. Otherwise, Vlad and all of this is that, right? Vlad and what is going on. That was a distraction for a couple months, but guess what? I think I know from when they went through WW2 and WW1 and the stuff that was declassified about what they did and the actions they were willing to take to be able to do Ganda, we know that as far as stuff like this happens, we know about a certain bird that was mocking everybody, right? So what do you think is the big distraction right now? Tell me in the chat. I'd love to see it. On both platforms, it will be up on the screen. And let's see here. Joseph Newhouse, I hope Yellowstone stays open. I was talking about this and the Guy article, oddly, with a clip of a zebra inside a house. I hope the wildlife is safe. I do too, Joseph. And, well, I think wildlife are a lot better at getting out of the way than humans are. They don't have any belongings that they have to stick behind and grab. Return of the Atomic Pigeon has subscribed. That's awesome. JT, my wife calls you Marfoogies. I guess that's better than Foogs. Catherine Epler, again, thank you. And then the 3-letter agency to convene emergency meeting on the monkey amid spread. Now I say the monkey because this now is being a left and right issue, apparently. Now they're making this, and it's already starting. So this is shortly going to become something that won't be discussable, and they're going to go back retrospectively on it. Dex.
Did you hear they're talking about renaming it too? The same agency. They got petitioned to rename it.
Are monkeys offended, or what's going on?
I think it's something to do with racial issues.
What?
I've seen it. It's been on Twitter and a few other places. So I'm trying to find an official source that says they're actually going to do it. But yeah, they're talking about doing it.
I'm just blown away at our planet. I want to cry for my kids. The W and the H, and of course the O, will hold an emergency meeting to assess whether the current spread of the what do you call it? I don't know. The animal POX constitutes a public health emergency of international concern, or FEC. Well, feck you too. A special committee will meet next week to advise on the spread in non-endemic countries. Hans Kluge, regional director of the for Europe, said that the media briefing Wednesday, a FEC is the W and the H, and of course the O's highest alert level. And by the way, I believe I'm pronouncing that right. It says a FEC. A FEC? A FAIC? FAC? Such a declaration can be used to encourage nations to cooperate on countermeasures while letting the agency recommend steps such as travel advisories. So, is this history repeating itself? It sure looks like it. It sure looks exactly like what we already went through. Go ahead.
So I found the article, Adam. If you want to grab it, it's in Screener.
Okay.
About renaming it.
They are. Well, okay. So what do
take a look.
What do monkeys have to do with anything?
I didn't read it. It was a decent source. It was The Guardian, I think.
Are they going to rename monkeys? It can't.
It says the headline is "Who to rename." Sorry, I shouldn't have said them, but you know what I mean. Yeah, it says they are to do it. So it said they are renaming it. It will rename to avoid stigmatisms and other things.
By what? They're not in it. I mean, they're everywhere. They're not in a specific country. Like what? I am so confused. That is the stupidest thing I've ever heard. I'm just Just done. Incredible. The W and the H and the O to rename the monkey to avoid discrimination. Wow. Incredible.
As soon as possible, they say.
That's incredible. This is the Guardian, by the way. This isn't the Sun or something. I mean, Guardian has its weaknesses, but where does this stop? It says working with partners and experts from around the world of changing something that's been around for hundreds of years, thousands of years. I don't know. How long has this been around? Why would they need to change it? Because it has something to do with something else that may have something to be a discriminatory thing. I don't understand. Why is everything racial now? Why? I got it, man. You know who did the greatest video lately was High Impact. Did a video, and I swear that the video that he did, I will share it to Dex. I will put it down below. I will put it on the website. I think that video alone and one part in it will change a life, like will change somebody's view of the world. It really is that good. And Brian from High Impact did it. So I will share that with Dex after the show. And by the time you're watching the replay, it will be there. So go to marfooglenews.com and see it. And if you're watching the show, it's not going to be there until I do it. So you got to check back after the show. All right, and then just incredible. And then, but that will also be ready. I shouldn't have to warn you. You should be seeing the signs for yourself that this is getting worse. Whether you believe it's happening, they're saying it is, so it's going to affect all of us. And then Xi country students' dream device defeats Japan's most powerful supercomputer in world contest. This is not surprising me, unfortunately, because recently Xi and his country have taken huge strides ahead, and I don't know how that happened. I think it is because somebody purposely sabotaged our own country, and by our own I mean the U.S. If you're new, but the U.S. was leading, and other countries actually. I want to say Germany and others, but again, now Xi has taken a huge lead in certain things. It says a small computer developed by Xi students outperformed Japan's most powerful machine in solving a major complex data problem related to artificial intelligence, according to the latest global ranking. Supercomputer Fugaku in Japan has nearly 4 million CPU cores, making it the second largest computer ever built. It says DefGraph Supernode, which was started as a training project by graduate students at Haozong University of Science and Technology in Wuhan, has 128 cores. So 128 cores compared to 4 million. It says, do you have a question? Let's see, around the world. Let's see here. But the depth graph was nearly twice as fast as Fugaku in solving a single source shortest path problem, or SSSP problem, a difficult graph problem affecting the performance of artificial intelligence in a wide range of sectors, according to the annual Graph 500 ranking released by the International Supercomputing Conference early this month. It says, quote, it felt like a dream. First-year graduate student Shen Qianj was quoted by Science Daily. So just so you know, that whatever students these are, they are now guaranteed employed for the government, for the very forceful government, and they're living the rest of their lives out under direct supervision, I bet you. Dex, go ahead.
Well, and just let that be a reminder, right? You know, everybody likes to poo-poo G-land over there, like, oh, they can't make anything good, et cetera. But look, they've always focused on education, probably more so than any other country in the world. Their STEM or science and technology has always been super strong, especially in the last, decade or so. So to see a student come out and, from that program and make such a major milestone. It's not like that they've necessarily created some new super technology. It's just that the brain power that went into creating this capability with a smaller stack of computer cores against the second largest computer in the whole world. It's sort of like the guy who beat the chess system, or whatever. It's a major milestone, and it's something to look at and go, look at what they're doing with their higher education over there and with their, their tech sector. So, this will have an effect. They've been investing in this heavily for decades. We've seen the effect today. We see the effect tomorrow, and it'll be stronger and stronger and stronger year over year, decade over decade, as they continue this level of investment. And we don't have that same level of commitment to education in our country and many other countries around the world.
Well, and I don't know why people don't see that connection. And even here in the United States, G students and people you've known throughout school, who, when you went to high school, who were some of the smartest kids in that school? Okay. Why? Well, the culture values that super high. So does Japan, though. Japan as well. That's valued very high in the cultural rankings. You need to get an education. But G-Land, they are just straight up. I mean, they're serious about it. Think about how many stories you've seen of a Chinese family, right? If you fail a class or if you do this, you get punished. It's not a good way to do it, but the results from it stem out. And the thing is, Albert Einstein or any other genius, Albert Einsteins can be born in any country. And if they end up staying in that country, they could make the next nuclear bomb, or they could make the next super weapon. And people have this assumption that all these people are just going to magically be born in the U.S. or magically be born in the U.K. or something. Wherever they're born, they're probably going to end up helping that country. Unless they're grabbed by Secret Service or something, or spies. But again, this is alarming, because we know that part of this AI is actually going to be used for military, and it's already being used. We're already behind, and that's not according to me. That's according to the Pentagon. The Pentagon says we are now behind Xi in AI and in several tech specs. So get ready, people, because the world may take a very sharp left turn into a very worst dystopian state that you could ever imagine that the U.S. could do. And then Strange Brew, Americans warned of Xi possibly spying through smart coffee makers. I thought this was a joke when I first saw it, but apparently it's not. In general, most of you have a kind of a view whether, I know there's a lot of people here that do not like smart devices, and then there is a ton of you that have smart devices in your home. Imagine, though, your coffee maker spying on you. It says the worst part of waking up could be the spying in your coffee cup. American researcher Christopher Balding said that he uncovered evidence that Xi is hoovering up data collected through smart coffee machines that are made in the country and shipped to America. Mr. Balding, reporter of New Kite Data Labs, said problems with the internet-connected coffee machines are part of a broader data collection effort aimed at Internet of Things, IoT devices that have low security and unclear data policies. So if you see that little tiny dot on it, it's probably a microphone. Here's the thing with this and then others, of course, the DJI drones that almost everybody that flew a drone has, because DJI was the best company. There was a reason that the military started saying, hey, we can't use these drones anymore, because the video was done through a proprietary system that was their software. These are drones that go up in the sky, and it had higher and higher quality cameras on it to the point where it could map. Think about the data that they could use from that. If some jack monkey flies that above a base and does it illegally, or even flies outside of the base and looks into it, that information would go through, of course, the connection to the controller and to the phone. And then that phone, it's able to then send that back to country of origin. Or it very well could, and that was the question that was posed. Now they're talking about almost everything made there. just a slight prediction is we're going to start seeing at least something come out about all of these different devices and everything that's made over there being some sort of spy tool. And this may be justification, maybe fake, and maybe justification for them. Obviously, President B came out of just a few months ago and said that this whole speech of everything's going to be made back in America. We're going back to made in America. And we're going to make a semiconductor chip factory right here in the U.S. And he brought up the guy from Intel, and he said, let's all clap for this gentleman. We're going to make a semiconductor chip factory here. Why? Because Taiwan's about to be taken. It's pretty clear why we're making a semiconductor chip. It's pretty clear why we'll be making everything in America. And it's pretty clear this may be the start, it might even be propaganda, of getting people to turn against Xi and turn against the stuff made over there. Nobody wants to be spied on. But the funny thing is most people won't care. They'll say, well, it's a cool coffee maker and I can turn it on from work. That's how most people, they don't really give a crap. Well, I'm not doing anything. What do they want? Do they want to see me walking naked through my house? Who cares? It's more than that. It's putting together data, and that data is going to be so helpful for a takeover if that ever happened. Again, you have to think, there's whole departments of all of these countries that make plans for actually, if they ever went to conflict, how to take over, destroy, just absolutely annihilate. We don't think of it as civilians and human beings, but just as the nuclear war planner, the gentleman who wrote a book about it, he went into an office during during the cold conflict, and they would go in there, and their whole job was to make plans on not only how to destroy every single city and every single person, to unalive them in Vlad country. He said that there was no plan that included basically destroying and wiping out every city in Vlad country that didn't also involve wiping out every city in G country. So think about it. There's people doing this, and this is going to grow. This is a tiny story that nobody's going to pay attention to, and then it's going to grow into something way bigger. This is the start of the Ganda. That's my opinion. Dex. So we do have Karen from Columbus, a first-time caller. Or I don't know if I know she's been in chat for a long time. Is she really a first-time caller?
Yes.
Okay, well, we'll get Karen from Columbus on if you want to call in, 224400-MARF. Again, that is the number to call. The number is going to be scrolling on the black line right down there. That is 2244006273. And then, of course, while you are getting Karen from Columbus in, Foogle fan member for a very long time, very excited to meet her. I do want to remind you, if you don't have PrEP, this is a good way to go about it. If you've never heard of My Patriot Supply, this is a great place to actually get MREs that are sealed. And then, of course, you can get different amounts of long-term survival food, food that you can actually store for years. Again, this is not only a source you can go and get yourself a 72-hour kit, you can get yourself a 1-month supply or a 3-month supply. But this is actually high quality. There's a lot of crap going around on YouTube about these certain like off brands, like, oh, you get a month of food. I would say definitely do not fall for especially the stuff that it sounds too good to be true. There's a reason. There is a huge gap in quality of food. And if you store food for 8 years and then you open it up after 8 years and it's not even edible, that's huge. This food is absolutely really amazing. It's done at the highest standards, and again, it is a great price. They have everything in stock. Most of these companies are actually going out completely. So for the time being, they have a huge selection. And again, the demand is higher than it's ever been before in history. Make sure to go over marfooglenews.com/prep. With inflation, how it is going, and the prices of freeze-dried food, I would highly recommend doing this before, rather before something happens than after. You can also get things like the Alexa Pure Pro gravity-fed water filtration system if you don't trust what's in your water. That is an amazing system. It will last for years. And then you can also get power banks. You can get all sorts of things, including iodine tablets. If you're one of the few that worries about a nuclear disaster, again, that's something that people don't think about until it's too late. All right, and that's marfugglenews.com/prep. Every time you go over and purchase there, that's an affiliate. So essentially what they're doing is, in most cases, they give you some sort of discount, and then you are helping our independent channel. Again, when you support independent, you are supporting everybody here. So thank you so much. I appreciate you, and couldn't say thank you enough. All right, let's get Karen from Columbus on the phone. Karen from Columbus, you've been in the chat for a long time. I'm very happy to meet you. And Karen's almost on.
Adam, Karen is now live. Sorry, I had technical issues with the phone system.
Oh, okay, no worries. Karen, you are live on Marfoogle News. It's nice to meet you.
Hi. Hi, Adam. Oh, man, so great to talk to you. Yes, I am a first-time caller, I know, because I've been here forever. But I never really call in. I'm always there listening. I'm always there blabbing in D-Live. I'm a D-Live girl. And hi to all my friends in the chat. They're awesome. And they're a good crowd. They're very supportive, and we love you. And we do have a family there.
And what happened?
Hello?
Yes, we're here.
Okay. Yeah, so I'm calling in about the rolling blackouts, and we're having them in Columbus, Ohio. We had a storm, 2 nights ago, and but we've never had rolling blackouts. We can lose power here and there, but they're systematically just taking people down in different areas, and you never know who's going out.
So
and I remember hearing.
Do you have power right now, or is it being shut off?
I have power, but most of my friends don't.
So are they telling them how long it's going to be out, or is this not? Are they just turning it off?
Maybe it might be Thursday at midnight. Really, no. They're opening cooling centers here for different areas that you can go to, because it is hot as hell. And luckily, where I live in actually Dublin, which is a suburb of Columbus, which really doesn't have anything to do with the rolling blackouts, because our cables are underground. So that's why we've never had power outage where I live. But the rolling blackouts, they're shutting down areas that weren't even affected by the storm. There weren't trees down or anything. They're just taking the power from that area and shoving it over to the other area. And they've got maps up and showing which areas are affected. But yeah, oh my gosh, everybody's over here going in the pools and going to get their phones charged. And I just never thought that would be here. That's a California issue. No, this is Ohio.
Well, this is what we warned people about. So if you just joined us, Karen from Columbus is saying that of course, everybody thinks about rolling blackouts happening in California because that's where, most of the news was surrounding. But rolling blackouts are something that we talked about over the last 2 years as far as covering all of the different grid issues that are happening. And now with these weather events that keep happening, now all of a sudden you're getting rolling blackouts in the Midwest and in the center of the country. This is really freaky, Karen. I was not aware of this.
Yeah, and we get tornadoes over here too. Like the week before, it was a tornado like an hour and a half, like 45 minutes, an hour away from here, and Tip City took off the roof of a Myers distribution center. And it's we're always getting tornado warnings, and it's just well, Adam, you do try to warn in advance, and I can tell you from as far back as I was listening, when you first started talking about the N95 masks, oh, you need masks, and then everybody thought, oh, you're all crazy, and I went out and I got them before any of that crap started coming down the road. I got them at a woodworking shop, and so I had them. And my family was making fun of me, and I made up bags. My brother is a truck driver. My boyfriend at the time was a truck driver. So I put the masks and gloves and hand sanitizers. They made fun of me. Then they ended up calling me, hey, you got any of them masks? Because my job says I have to have one now or I'm going to lose my job. I have to have it now. And I give them the bag and they're going, oh, I said, okay. So remember when I told you about Marfoogle News and how you thought I was crazy? And now, we're helping you out that way. So, yeah, I mean, you got some good advice.
Mind you,
if people would just start listening.
People paid a lot of money for masks, especially during the very scary part of it where nobody knew what was going on. And then they started requiring it, and a lot of stores didn't even have one. And then they had these chintzy pieces of paper. But yeah, and then back when N95s were like, people were selling them for like $200 for 10 masks and all sorts of crazy stuff. But yeah, and the thing is we followed it from the very first case. I went to the hospital of the very first case of CV in the U.S. And it was like, we knew that this was going to be bigger. And 4 months before that, we saw the different stuff coming out and the different documents that were getting released. There were graphs, there were charts, there were meetings that were happening, and then there was exercises being done. And we said, look at this. Why are they preparing for this massive demic if there's nothing here? And then all of a sudden, December rolls around, and we're in whatever that was, right? It's like they knew it was going to happen.
Right.
And then, of course, the clips of America's favorite doctor, saying, oh, well, there will be a surprise, no, during his administration. It's like nobody questions this stuff.
And I just wanted to say, one of the best parts of this show is the callers. I really enjoy them, and I just tell all my friends, I said, you know what, this is why you should listen to the show. Callers from all over the country call in, and you can hear what's going on in their neck of the woods. Their feet are on the ground where they are, seeing things maybe we don't see where we are. And it's a great network, and there are a lot of great people out there. One of your old callers was named Lisa Marie. She was in the Army, I believe. She was an awesome caller, very, very knowledgeable. I wish she would call back in.
Yes, I want to say she had her channel too. So again, I will have to look back into that. It's been a long time, but I do remember Lisa Marie. Well, Karen from Columbus, I really appreciate you, and thank you so much for sticking around for a very long time. You've been here it's super awesome to actually talk to you. There are certain people that I'm like, how have I not talked to them yet? So thank you so much for calling in.
I know.
Doesn't it feel like you guys know me?
There are a lot of them out there.
I don't know you, right? So I would love to get to know you.
That's awesome. So great to hear you, and I'm glad I did call in. I've got a few other people out there I keep telling to call. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you for all you do, Adam.
Oh, well, you're very welcome, and thank you for being here. Karen from Columbus. Again, thank you, and God bless. That was, again, we have this now linked on the website. The AAP officials face questions over power outages, restoration efforts. Again, that is all going down right now. And they apologize for forcibly removing thousands of customers from the electrical grid. Is this on, national news? No. Should it be? I think so, because now there are smaller events happening that are knocking out places, and the rolling blackouts, that's what we should pay attention to. We even told you when we said, you don't have to be in California for this to happen to you now, because now they telegraphed this. They warned you. They said that the grid is being strained, and this year out of any year, we're going to have more problems than we've ever had before. And you could say, oh, well, they're just saying that, or you could say they're telling you that. So either way you look at it, the preppers that were prepped, the people that have a rolling blackout right now, that have generators, that have all this stuff backed up, they're sitting pretty. Meanwhile, everybody else is sitting in the dark. You don't have to be in a disaster to need, backup stuff. It's always good to have it. All right, and then G says it may have detected aliens. No joke. Like, everything on this is like, is this for real? Then deletes the report. It says there's something out there. Maybe. Xi's science ministry said this week that it picked up signs of alien life on the world's largest radio telescope. then appeared to quickly delete a report about the discovery. The country's powerful Sky Eye telescope detected electromagnetic signals of possible civilizations on other planets, according to a report published Tuesday in Science and Technology Daily, the official newspaper of Xi's Ministry of Science and Technology. It said there were several cases of possible technological traces of extraterrestrial civilizations from outside the Earth, the report said. The team of researchers headed by Beijing Normal University said that the mysterious frequencies were unlike anything they've ever encountered and were investigating further, according to the report. But the report had then been apparently removed from the newspaper's website, and it's gone. But Zhang Tongji, chief scientist of the university's extraterrestrial civilization search team, was quoted in the report saying the signals could have been radio interference. Ha! Man, if it's not, can you imagine like this stuff they put out a report and then the government or something just comes in and goes, no, not true. Has that happened here? Roswell? Just a few times. It says, quote, the possibility that the suspicious signal is some kind of radio interference is also very high, and it needs to be further confirmed and ruled out. This may be a long process, said Zhang. The 500-meter single-dish Sky Eye launched into southwestern Guizhou province in September of 2020 with the primary goal of detecting life on other planets. I hope Tyler from Secure Team covers this, if he hasn't already. He probably has already made a video on this. I would think he would be all over this. I am waiting for him to cover this because, man, what a crazy, crazy thing to happen. Dex, do you think that it's a little bit suspicious they deleted it?
A little bit. It's very. I mean, what's the point in deleting it? You should have, updated it, told people why, made some sort of explanation, but to just wipe it out, that's kind of super sus, right?
That is sus to say the least. So again, Dex, it looks like you're still having issues with it, right? So okay, we're it's messy. Okay, so we are upgrading our phone system, so we're trying to change over things and make it better, but it has been a week of kind of hell in the behind the scenes. So if you are trying to call in, you will get another chance to call in. But not tonight, because the phone lines are now closed. All right, and then Xi Jinping clears non-war use of army, raising fear of special military operation in Taiwan. Oh, my goodness. Isn't this just quaint? He's going to clear a path for them to do... basically to go out of their way, not being attacked, but to send military somewhere without being in a conflict. Sounds familiar. It sounds a whole lot like what Vlad is doing. Dex, do you want to cover this one? This is pretty good.
Yeah, this is totally like deja vu. You're like, what's going on here? Is this like a special operation? Is that what they're getting ready for? So, yeah, this is definitely something that goes hand in hand with what we've been talking about, what we've been seeing the rhetoric from both sides. We've seen the ramp up of not just drills, which were going crazy for the last year and have obviously continued and gotten really significant in the last few months. But now we're at the point where we're even seeing Taiwan come out and make offensive claims where they're, saying, hey, we can actually touch Beijing with our missiles. So back off. Right. And that's something they've never done before. They've always talked about their defense. They've never talked about an offense. So all of these things are definitely coming to a head right now and bringing, it's sort of all eyes on this from many points. And it seems to me, in my opinion, that it is, the writing's on the wall that things are getting in alignment for the next move on Taiwan from Xi. And it's just a matter of, how's he going to do it? And is anybody going to actually defend it? And I think that's the real question. And we saw, what went down in UKR. We saw, a version of defense from the rest of the world, or at least from NATO powers. It wasn't, they didn't actually step in with their own feet, but they certainly dumped as much equipment as they possibly could in there, right? So we'll see in the coming months, the coming weeks, maybe even tomorrow, who knows, at the rate it's going, how this will play out specifically.
And they partnered up with Vlad, and they said no limits partners, and essentially they're saying that Vlad is going to do the same thing for Xi. We have seen, and we showed you over the last few years, that Xi and Vlad were working together to basically cut out of the picture the U.S. The U.S. was a very big partner. Also Australia, big partner. UK. Here's the thing, though. All of these countries are still getting stuff from Xi's countries. It's insane how much trade is being done with Xi and coming from his country. So there's going to be a lot of, and this is the future. We're watching the news. There's conflict in Taiwan. They've taken parts of Taiwan. And all of a sudden, everybody's saying, well, we have to cut this out. Oh, we're going to close all the McDonald's in Xi's country, and we're going to do all this. It's not going to matter. They've already backed up. They just made a physical bridge to Russia so they could actually basically have a physical bridge between the two countries so they could ship things back and forth. They have also traded farmland for the things they can't grow in Xi country. They can grow in Vlad country, and vice versa. So now, watch the future. They're going to take Taiwan, or at least part of it. This is going to be just like UK, or it's playing out. It's like Vlad, and this whole thing is a practice for this. And that is a very powerful thing. When they take Taiwan, there's going to be a whole lot of things that go down. I foresee, and this is just a dream I had, and I feel like it's kind of realistic. Japan will jump in first, and then everybody else will kind of fall in line. I think this is the beginning of WW3. It's been going on for a long time. That's my personal opinion. That's not to scare people. That's what I'm preparing for. Tell me what you're preparing for. This is the kind of stuff that it's very clear. Look at that. Non-use, exactly. I mean, come on. And then when it happens, people are going to go, oh, didn't see that one coming. How? Kremlin critic Navalny says move to a colony notorious for abuse. Jailed Kremlin critic Alexei Navalny said Wednesday he had been transferred to a strict regime penal colony described by his allies as one of Vlad's scariest prisons. It said last month President Vlad, of course, citing inmates, said that the Vladian authorities had been preparing a, quote, prison within a prison for him. They're going to treat you real nice. Navalny had been serving 2.5 years at a jail in the town of Pokrov, 100 kilometers or 60 miles east of Moscow, for violating parole on old fraud charges in what his allies say is punishment for challenging the Kremlin. Some think that he was basically just put in there for even challenging, Vlad, right? In March, the 46-year-old had his jail time extended to 9 years after he was found guilty of embezzling donations to his political organizations and contempt of court. It says, quote, hello to everyone from the strict regime zone, Navalny said in a statement posted on Instagram on Wednesday. So wait, Dex, does he give this to somebody like a lawyer or something and then they post it? He doesn't have access to Instagram, does he?
They might over there. Prison systems are very different in different countries, but maybe they have, computer time or something.
Selfies with Bubba, or I guess Bufka. I don't know. Yesterday, I was transferred to IK6 Malekahova, Navalny said, adding he was in quarantine and did not have much to say. So who knows what happened to him? We will follow it and see where it goes. Navalny is an important figure.
But why?
What do you mean? Like why?
Why do they feel the need to move him? Is something, is there a sentiment that's rising up? Is there something that they're afraid he's going to be able to, communicate more with people? Is there some reason for it? I mean, if, you figure somebody's in prison, they're in prison, right? You might move them around for other reasons, but this is sort of a high profile. Like when you do this, everybody knows. So why? That's what I think about. And I don't know the answer, But it just makes me wonder, is there a reason behind why they needed to move them? So do they have more control? They expect something bad to happen? I don't know.
Well, I know one thing for sure. It's not likely that Navalny is going to live a great life from here on out. He made an enemy in the Kremlin, and yeah, Vlad doesn't like him. Survival game. Didn't scientists want to pump water? I got that. JT, thank you. Bible Talk 777. I'm going into my YouTube library and delete videos, even though it quotes the W and the H and the O. Bible Talk, gosh, I wish I could, if you DM me on Twitter, I have a couple things that I absolutely know that I was lucky enough to get, other YouTubers to kind of hand it down to me. But there are some things you can look out for as far as your past content and stuff. Stephen McMahon, there will be another freaky showing up soon. Another freaky demic, right? Stephen McMahon, I don't think you need a crystal ball to see that. I mean, look at how much is pushed that way. I agree. Ricky Bobby, what are your thoughts on the Culebra quake prediction? Any validity to it? Also, Foogle fam, can you help me get monetized? Stay safe. Ricky Bobby, to be honest, I don't know what that global prediction is, unless you're spelling it wrong. Culebra. Dex, can we look up the Culebra, Culebra, global quake prediction? I don't know. I'm not going to comment on something I don't truly know. But Ricky Bobby, I will look into it, and I will get back to you on that. And if you start a channel, again, try to call in if you can. Open House, Texas.
Culebra being Puerto Rico?
I would assume.
Yeah, okay.
But I know that there's a large... unless you're talking about the one where the gentleman who previously predicted the Boxing Day tsunami is now predicting another one. That one freaks me out because he was right on the money. He was a scientist that knows all the back ends of India. He says that there's another one coming. Open House, Texas. Hi, Adam and Dex. Odessa, Texas. No water for 24 hours. Everything you guys warned about, it's happening. I have family who still don't believe they should stock up. Thank you guys for all you do. God bless all of you. Open House, Texas. So, again, to anybody out there like Open House, Texas, if there's something going on regionally that we should know about, like no water, rolling blackouts, any kind of thing like that, please let us know somehow. DM me on Twitter or tweet me and tag me. Make sure to let me know. You can also email Dex at marfooglenews.com, or Adam at marfooglenews.com. Again, that's Dex at marfooglenews.com and Adam at marfooglenews.com. Let us know. I think that there's a lot more going on than what people are seeing because media chooses what to cover. And I think that we should be focusing on our people and the people in the Foogle fam and everybody that is here and where you are at. And then President B announces $1 billion in new military aid for UKR. Too long? Probably. Oh, who didn't predict this? Okay, for the last week, Dex, and look at this.
Said it on Monday, said it last week, said it yesterday. It was coming.
And we're not trying to pat ourselves on the back here. We told you, look at what's happening. They're setting it up and they're serving it. It's very clear as day. You don't need a crystal ball to see what's happening. That's why we hope people pay attention to what's happening next. It's going to get worse. And guess what? Once you start watching, and even I've gotten messages this week, people that have been sent to me by like hateful things, and they said, I wanted to hate you, but you were right. We've had a lot of people turn from like absolute like jerks to like now they're part of the Foogle fam and now they're hanging out with us, which I love. I love that you guys were able to get over whatever it was and come in and have a good time. This is amazing in the worst way because it just shows it's absolutely happening exactly how everyone is seeing it. It's just so clear. It's not funny. It's like they set it up. They said, we're failing. Vlad's coming in there and they're creaming in there. They're winning. See, they said that they were just bumbling idiots and they weren't doing their job. Well, when they just flipped on 180 and said, oh, Vlad's coming in and he wiped out the area and he's taking it and he's victorious. That's when you go, wait, why are they doing that? Vlad's country can't even get their media in here. There's no coverage on that side. So whatever they want to tell us, they can tell us. So they said, oh, now they're failing. We said this is a setup to ask for money for UKR. And now it's happening. A package of another $1 billion worth of arms includes more artillery, anti-coastal, anti-ship defense systems, ammunition, and artillery and advanced rocket systems. So there was another thing. Vlad said if you send missiles in, but I believe they mean like actual ballistic missiles or nukes, into UKR, we will wipe Europe off the map. Europe will disappear. That was their quote. And now, I guess this is technically more defensive and rocket systems, right? Hopefully this isn't missiles.
Yeah, we'll have to see. Early, it's just, it's generally saying arms. We'll have to find out.
Well,
but we call this. It's so crazy. Yeah.
It's really simple. Everybody else probably did too. It's like they show you what is happening. They know what, it's like everybody knows what's happening. But then, like Joseph Goebbels says, if you tell a big enough lie and repeat it enough, people will start to believe it. All right, and then let's see here. By the way, Irish Rebel, thank you so much. Appreciate your support. Thank you. And Bandy Bear, Shirley Millward, Simply Pony, thank you so much. Open House Texas, again, Bible Talk 777, and everybody else. I thank you, and thank you. Also, big shout out to Jacob Israel. Make sure to go check him out. He has been doing an awesome job. He's been putting 100% into his shows. He's a really good guy. And then check out all of the mods. Every single mod down there has a channel. They are all awesome creators. Make sure to go and support them. All right, and let's see here. Before we talk about Execution Happy, Vlad snatches American UKR. Sorry. Got a Vlad in my throat. Ugh. If you want to protect yourself against EMP, there is a solution for that. Go over to marfooglenews.com. Again, you can actually get $50 off per device. These devices can actually protect your car and your home, and RVs, motorcycles, boats, even a ham radio can be protected by different EMP shields. They also make an energy EMP shield that will directly protect your solar generator. So if you do make an investment in something, it's worth it to protect it. If any kind of human man-made EMP happens, all three phases are protected with this and a solar event. Again, a CME will also be protected against. You can actually deal with a Carrington level event. Your car will still start and your devices will still work. Go to marfooglenews.com/EMP. That, again, will get you $50 off, and you'll be supporting our independent show. So thank you, guys. I appreciate it. And do it before it's too late. All right. Dex, I'm going to have you talk about the Vlad snatches.
And Adam, while I do that, there's a couple of articles I threw in from the comments that you were talking about. They're in Screener. But yes, so as we've heard, there have been plenty of people that have joined UKR to help the cause, so to speak. And these people are from other countries. Well, for the first time now, Americans who had been in that and went over, volunteered on their own, were participating, have now been captured by Vlad. And so this does create some worry as to what's going to happen to them since they've been captured. This is the first time Americans in this event have been captured. So all eyes are sort of on what's next. Now, these gentlemen said they, they had bad intel. They were going into a town. They expected the town to be empty. And then all of a sudden it was full of Vladians, and they basically got, overrun. And it was an unfortunate event, but that was their story, but now they're captured. So we're bound to see, I guess, next what's going to happen. Is there going to be a negotiation? Is there going to be, something worse like an X event or what? So stay tuned, but this is the first time Americans in this event have been captured by Vlad.
And then you added a couple of articles here. Heat stress kills estimated 10,000 heads of Kansas feedlot cattle. Even the cows are perishing, right? That is actually pretty extreme if you start having cattle perish. And then tens of thousands of people in Odessa have endured nearly 48 hours without water to drink, wash, or flush toilets. So that is Open House Texas. That's verification of what they were saying. So now we have an actual article reflecting that on the website. So you'll have access to all of this and much, much more on our website. Speaking of our website, we actually have not only our contest there, but we have a lot of other stuff. Dex, do you want to go over that?
Absolutely. Go to marfooglenews.com. Click on the thumbnail for the show, or open the description on YouTube and click on show notes. It'll take you directly to today's show page. Everything that we just covered, all of the news we covered, including any articles that are we talked about that are fresh that we didn't have before the show, get added right here. When you get down to this yellow bar, you get to the overflow section. This is where the rest of the story continues. And a lot of the topics are things that you want to hear about. They definitely are. So more continuation around, specifically around bang bangs. There's a lot of conversation around that. There's an interesting article. It's worth reading about another country and how they deal with it in a very different way, and why they don't, and supposedly why they don't have the same problems we have. I'm sure many of you have your own opinions on that, and that's fine. Van life. Some of you out there are van lifers. What does it mean now when it costs so much money to fill your tank and you're a van lifer? You're probably parking quite a bit more than driving, I'm sure. Hey, everybody's favorite doctor. Guess what? He's got it. He's got the thing, and I'm not talking monkey business. I'm talking the stuff that's been going around for almost 3 years now. So that came out, and lots more Tesla updates, Elon's in the news, political stuff in there, tons of other information. So if you're not headed over to marfooglenews.com, you're missing it. And don't forget, that's where you get to enter into the contest. So, or the giveaway. It's so simple. All you have to do is click a button and you can enter to win. So head over every day on this page. There's a link in the description for those of you on YouTube if you want to win that bag. I know Adam showed it on the last show. It's a great looking bag. It's a high end. It's really like something built for covert operations, but you can use it to store all of your electronics, whether it's a phone, a laptop, a tablet, all three in 3 different compartments, all protected from electronic device spying, protected from an EMP, protected from a CME. You can pack 2 days worth of clothes in it. You can put all your gear in it and head out on the road, and everything. Even your key fob is protected if you put it in there. And if you didn't know, there's actually people that can scan your key fob just walking by you when you use it, and then copy it and then turn around and unlock and use your car. So lots of ways to protect. Every piece is in this. And Adam, my favorite part is the sunglass holder. It's got a hard container at the top for your glasses, and nothing gets broken up there. This is a high-end bag. It's really nice. $380. They're giving it away to you guys. So make sure you go enter. It's free to do. Very simple. Click the link, multiple ways to enter, and you can do it every day. So go check it out. All right. That's it. marfooglenews.com.
All right. Well, thank you, Dex, and thank you everybody that supports the shows in whatever way. That includes sharing and pressing the like button. If you found value in the show, if we made you laugh, made you cry, something, if you can, swipe your finger and just tap that like button. And make sure to share this with a friend or family that may need a community, that may need friends, that may need to hear some of this information. Again, if you also go to the website, you'll see you have access to everything there. You can give them the website. You can give them whatever you want. All right, thank you guys. And it's now time for the shoutro. It's not an outro. It's not a shout out. It's heartburn. It's a shoutro. Just wanna go back home, back to Yellowstone, where we found the gold, and everyone knows. Just wanna go back home, back to Yellowstone, where we found the gold, and everyone knows. We found the way. We were walking down and we found the way. We were walking down and we found the way. We were walking down and we found the way. We were walking down and we found the way. Where we found the gold, and everyone knows. Just wanna go back home, back to Yellowstone, where we found the gold, and everyone knows. Give me a now, little evidence you need. I'm been there in the ball in the copes and no map 500, 700, and the return of the autonomic vision. No matter my own the giving, my guy ever going up but down, and the stoke more and the twist on the now. Red build and ready no more. Timbo had and Bob White galore. I found Waldo, in a non never sleeper. Might paralyze him, no believer. Oh man, you shall get ready for 20 gallons up on the door. Nick W and Moonlight, Nick W and back now. We were walking down and we found the way. We were walking down and we found the way. I just wanna go back home, back to Yellowstone. We were walking down and we found the way. Just wanna go back home, back to Yellowstone. We were walking down and we found the way. We were walking down and we found the way. Yeah, the Alpha K Phillips and we walk the street. I miss them around the old in the industry. King Kai, and the high strangers and Jackie King. Them were hazy, deep state of mind, Melly Shaw and Mystery. Corn pox. That's a better name than Monkeypox. Whoa, Natalie D, Mrs. Jammer One. Everybody knows what needs to done. Oh, Kimberly Strickland. Featurino on the 5. Oliver Seaman and a Bible talk by his side. We the music in it, everybody knows the night. I'll last long when you go, don't go right. With the Rock Pepper Levin and the Connie Easley. And then Jay Shore Greek. And Bob White, Kathleen Bemis. Grand Illusion and President Beavis. Retro Man, Doomsday and Simulation Channel. Steppenwolf, Dema, everybody got the handle. On that flannel, Bob White panel. Hey now, with a Fedgerino 5. Carol McLean and everyone high. Light on, yeah. Just wanna go back home, back to Yellowstone, where we found the gold, and everyone knows. Just wanna go back home, back to Yellowstone. What's the name of the music? What's the name of the music? What's the name of the song? What's the name of the song? Shelly Boy, yo, and the Bob White. Everybody gonna be okay tonight. Kimbo head in the mess shop. Twirly cashew in the bay. and the Mr. Steve. Hello to Dave, D-A-V-E, Shelly Boy O, and the Mr. J-E. The height, no, I just gotta see Oliver Seaman and the Seaman C. Hot now with the art now, Turley with the cashew now, Natalie with the Natalie D. Magna Turbo, I see. We were walking down and we found the way. We were walking down and we found the way. We were